while we're triple dotting here, I should take a moment and just be confused. Just because, I don't know. You meet these guys. It's already strange that you've just accepted them into your home and let them, like, take care. But they take care of everything for you. They come and try and rescue you, try and keep you safe, blah, 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 blah. Then you meet your grandfather's spirit, who literally tells you that he gave his life to help them and directed them to the house so that they could get on their feet, so to speak. And you go home after that and you're like, I need to move on with my life and you guys need to leave. I don't really get Angel's motives sometimes for things. She confuses me a little bit. But anyway, I guess she's got, like, Suzu on the brain and other things going on, so F all y'all incubi brothers, I guess. Triple dot. Or so I had hoped.
You are an interesting creature.
I told them to get lost already. You can leave, Diana. I opened my eyes to see a woman staring down at me with a very sly smirk on her face. I opened my mouth to scream in fright, but a hand quickly covered my mouth.
No screaming now. Too early, silly girl.
Haha. I could only stare up at the woman above me. I still felt weak, not having the strength to move and fight her off. She was very beautiful, but I felt more anger than amazement.
Why do the boys like you? You're unique, yes, but that can't be all that you have going for you.
Rage began to consume my core again. This woman, whoever she was making me mad. She must have known as she let another smirk grow onto her face.
Ooh, you're feisty. That could be why.
Before I could bite her hand in anger, she removed her hand from my lips, standing up and staring down at me from her place next to my bed. I quickly sat up and glared daggers at the intruder. Who the hell are you, and why are you in my room? The woman began to laugh, making the rage inside me increase. I wanted to punch her, but I waited for her answer.
How silly of me. I forgot that we demons are not well known of in your world. You can call me Diana, little human.
Diana? Demon? You're a demon?
I am, but I'm much more than just an average demon.
What do you mean?
Silly girl. I'm a succubus.
I stared at Diana in shock. A succubus? First incubi, now a succubus. Great. I have now met both genders of sex demons. Diana crossed her arms under her bosom and looked at my body.
Well, you are pretty, but you seem very reckless. Too reckless.
I moved out and stood from the bed, still glaring at Diana. Why are you here?
Well, I came here to clean up what the boys clearly forgot to clean. Men. So sloppy.
Forgot to clean? What do you mean by that?
I mean erasing your memories, sweetie.
Oh, that's why you're here. This woman wasn't serious, was she? She comes into my room and spouts this? This was ridiculous. I began to walk towards my door, wanting to leave the room. The boys could get rid of her. I had no mind about dealing with her myself.
The boys are gone, sweetie.
They really did leave. I froze in place. What? They were gone already? No way. I turned to Diana, glaring hard at her as she kept a smirk to me. You're lying.
Am I? If you want to go see for yourself, you can. But I promise you'll be wasting your time.
I stared, trying to find any hint that she was lying. She had to be. The boys wouldn't just up and leave without resting first, right? Diana crossed her arms and waited for me to make a choice. I decided to believe her for now. I'd find some hint in this conversation. What do you mean, take my memories?
Well, we demons can't have just anyone knowing about us. You have to completely devote your soul to learning about us. And even then, it's not always guaranteed that you can be granted knowledge of us.
What makes me not deserve to know everything? I was attacked by devils. I found the boys in my house, wounded, and sheltered them. I think I deserve to remember those moments. Diana let out a laugh, running a hand through her hair before looking back to me amused.
You were attacked by a gang and were almost killed. You found 5 homeless men and let them stay in your home. There's nothing special about either of these instances.
At that point. Yes, there was.
A human like you can't understand the rules. The boys themselves aren't even aware of the rules. They'll learn soon enough.
Diana flipped her hair before looking to me with a stern look.
Listen, sweetie. You're not going back to bed or leaving this house with those memories. I'm taking them from you one way or another.
I glared, standing my ground. You're not taking my memories. I'm not letting you take them.
And what do you plan to do with them, huh? Tell the press? Gossip to your friends that demons exist? Confess to your parents that you had demon servants and were almost killed by a devil gang?
Now she was making me mad. Did she seriously think I was this stupid? These memories were precious to me, and I wasn't going to let her win over my mind. These memories are important to me. I know that other creatures exist. I know that magic exists. I'm more open-minded now.
Open-minded or gullible?
What did she mean by that? The point of being open-minded was to be open to all thought. How is that anything close to being gullible?
There is nothing to learn from remembering the boys that won't bring trouble. I'm merely saving you from that. There are more than just demons who want to keep their existence a secret. There are many creatures in this world that don't want to be known of, and you remembering a small fragment is not acceptable to them without good reason.
Diana smirked.
If you would have kept the boys, or at least had one of them around, they'd be a little more lenient to listen to your pleas. However, you're about to go into tomorrow without any of them around.
Okay, that's interesting. I couldn't believe my ears. There was more than just demons. Other fictional creatures existed. There was a system? What? Diana sighed and snapped her fingers, lifting my body up from the ground with her magic.
Look, I can kill you and no longer waste what little time I have, or I can erase your memories and go on with my life. I have more important things to do above arguing with you.
I looked down at the ground to see something that made every nerve in my body quickly quake in fear. On the ground was a large open mouth with sharp wet teeth, leading to an empty black abyss. I could feel the heat from the mouth's breath pant against my floating body. Ah! I looked at Diana, who was looking at me with a stern and almost heartless gaze.
Make a choice, sweetie. Give up your memories, or be a demon's snack. I warn you, he's quite the biter.
I'll give it up, it's fine. I was panicking. I was about to die. Again. The boys weren't here to protect me. What was I going to do? Give up the memories. I mean, we don't need to remember them. We already told them to get lost. My mind began to wander. Were the memories truly worth my life? I remembered the way the boys helped organize the house party and helped me home after Malix's ordeal. But then I remembered, I'm only human. I wasn't a demon. I wasn't special. The world of magic was too large for me. I already had a world to face without magic being involved. I felt a wave of sadness run through me, replaying the memories of all that had happened the past few days one last time before speaking up. Fine. Take my memories. I couldn't keep them. They were beyond my world. They were beyond what I needed to know. I was never meant to know of them. Diana nodded.
Glad you understand now.
The pit beast below me closed its jaws, vanishing into nothing as I was lowered to the ground. I stood up straight and looked at Diana, resolved. Diana sighed before closing her hand and muttering Latin phrases under her breath, loud enough for me to barely hear. She then opened her hand and revealed a small purple vial. It's interesting that one of the options was to make a deal with her, though. Wonder if that leads to her route. What is that?
A memory potion. It will remove all of the memories of demons and magic from your mind. With the memories gone, you can live your life as free as you want.
What about the boys?
I have a spell for them. As soon as you drink that potion, you sign your contract with me, and I will take the boys back to where they belong.
Will they remember me?
I'll make sure they won't. They won't even remember ever thinking about coming to the human world.
Why didn't you use it before now? Why do I have to drink it knowingly?
Because demon magic isn't black and white, dear. The one catch is that the potion has to be drunk with full natural consent. So I can't just slip it into your chocolate milk or pour it into your mouth as you sleep. That's the downside of good succubus magic.
So I'll be...
a plain, boring human. No potential, no abilities, no memories to even have abilities. You'll be a plain Jane girl in a plain Jane world.
At least I got to use magic once. I nodded before looking to the vial. My memory in exchange for my humanity. That brings back some memories. I popped the cork of the vial and gingerly brought it to my lips. Goodbye, magic. Goodbye, demons. Goodbye, strange future. Hello, normalcy. I tilted my head back and chugged the drink down, feeling its magic already starting its work as it reached the inside of my mouth. I felt dizzy and sick, but I sucked down every last drop of the liquid. I felt the memories of the boys fade away. I never met them in my house when I moved in. I never was attacked by Malix or his goons. I never was kidnapped. I never met Diana. As I finished drinking, I felt my body grow weak, almost becoming unable to continue standing up. My vision was blurred and fuzzy, and I couldn't help but let my eyes shut. I asked for this. I wouldn't have the boys protecting me anymore. I didn't even open my eyes when I finally fell forward into Diana's arms.
It's for your own good, sweetie. Forget about it and be normal. I'm sorry.
I felt my mind slowly relax. There were no demons, no devils, no magic to drive me crazy. Everything was normal. Everything was peaceful. Everything was ordinary. Just the way Diana wanted. Just the way I wanted. Oh, man. I felt like on the verge of tears reading through all that for some reason. I don't know, it was very sad. Eventually, the morning arrived and the sun screamed at me to get up. Surprisingly, I woke up before my alarm clock, which was nice. I stretched out and quickly got dressed, getting ready for school. I went over in my mind what had happened over the weekend, suddenly feeling weary. I had moved in Friday night, held a house party Saturday, and enjoyed my day Sunday. Yep, sounds right. I scooped up my bag and headed downstairs to the dining room. The room was empty, and I felt hungry. I needed to eat something. I looked at my phone and saw a text I must have completely forgotten about.
Dude, are you okay? Did the drive home yesterday go okay with your dad?
I tried to remember, but for some reason yesterday's events seemed blurry and almost blank. I remembered going to school, dealing with Lisette, then going home. I don't remember, however, ever being picked up by him. I must have been, or else I wouldn't be safe at home. I rubbed my head, trying to shake out exhaustion. Damn studying. I texted back. Sorry I forgot to text you back. Everything was fine. See you when you get here. I made myself some quick toast and coffee, needing a jump start. I felt drained and I did not want to fall asleep in class. Something bothered me, though. My house felt empty, or at least emptier than when I came for some reason. I couldn't put my finger on it, but it slightly bothered me. I finished my food and quickly rushed to the front, waiting for Naomi's car and confident that nothing was going to happen. I avoided talking about what had happened yesterday. I'll be riding with you guys from now on to and from school. As we entered the school, we quickly gathered our things from our lockers and headed to class. There were no events, to my surprise. Naomi and Suzu took their seats around me, Suzu in front of me, Naomi beside me, before the class bell rang and the class was greeted by our teacher. History wasn't as boring as economics, but I still managed to space out in that class just the same. Suzu seemed to be very tense, focused on her desk more so than usual. I was almost tempted to poke her and see what was wrong. My phone, though, vibrated in my pocket. Thank God I set it on vibrate before class. I pulled out my phone and checked it, seeing a text from Naomi. I began to text back, suddenly going into a text conversation.
Hey, do you know what's wrong with Suzu?
I don't know.
Oh, I hope she's okay. She looks so stern.
Same here. I looked over once again at Suzu. She was intensely scribbling in her notebook, almost obsessively so. The grip on her new-looking purple pencil was almost tight enough to bend at each stroke she made with it. You have a purple pencil too? Suzu! I love you, girl.
Oh, by the way, did you hear?
What?
Apparently, Suzu's family is really involved with the mob.
What?
My dad told me he saw Suzu's dad in court this morning with a big-time crime boss.
Oh boy, well that's not good. Really? I couldn't believe it. Was Suzu okay? I looked over once more. Something made my heart slightly skip at seeing her again. I was worried, yes, but for some reason I felt a little sad. Suzu had always sworn up and down that her family had no relations with crime lords, yet this happened. Why was this happening? I put my phone back into my pocket, ending the conversation. Hopefully Suzu would explain things to me soon. I was worried beyond belief about Suzu's position with her family. Time continued until the end of the class period in that exact status. Suzu held her tense ground, focusing on nothing but the incoherent scribbles on her paper, while Naomi and I watched on in worry, not caring for the class we were in. As the bell rang, Suzu stood up suddenly.
I gotta go. See you guys later.
Suzu zipped out of class like she was fleeing the devil himself.
What just happened?
I don't know. Chase her. I needed to see what was wrong. Suzu was important to me, and I needed to help her. I instantly grabbed my things and rushed out of the room.
Whoa! Where are you going? Hey!
Sorry, Naomi. I wasn't listening. I needed to get to Suzu. The hall was full of students, which made spotting Suzu a little harder. I wish she was just a little taller. Hey, me and her both. Suzu. I began to push through the crowd, trying to find a trace of her. Her hair, her jacket, anything. I managed to get a glimpse of her green jacket, instinctively following it down the hall into a classroom. Suzu's class was the other way. Where was she going? I continued following and peeked into the classroom, seeing no one else in there except Suzu. What shocked me was seeing Suzu standing over an empty desk, slamming her fists onto the wood. I didn't know what to do. The world behind me in the hall went into slow motion as I stared at Suzu's back. She obviously wanted to be alone, but I wanted to help her and fix whatever was bothering her. Help her. I couldn't leave her like this. I quietly stepped into the room and closed the door, making Suzu flinch and freeze up. Suzu? Suzu gasped before turning to me, a shocked expression on her face. Tears had painted her cheeks, which made my heart sink in my chest. Suzu, what's wrong?
It's nothing. Nothing.
Suzu quickly rubbed her eyes and face, trying to cover her face and clean it of sadness. I pressed my lips together, not believing her. Suzu, talk to me. You were acting strange in history.
I was just listening to the lecture.
You were scribbling in your notebook. I was watching almost the entire class period.
I have bad handwriting.
This was true, but she wouldn't write notes about class. She didn't care much for class, unlike Naomi and me. Why was she lying to me? What was going on? What was making her so distraught? Suzu, whatever is troubling you, let me help you.
You can't help me, okay?
I stepped back, feeling the sudden anger in her voice. She covered her mouth, regretting what came out of it, and stared almost in pure fright at me. Suzu. I stepped towards her, not wanting to scare her, but wanting to be closer. Suzu didn't seem affected, so I continued to walk towards her. Eventually, we were only a desk away from each other. Tell me. Suzu stared before letting out a shuddering sigh, nodding in defeat. I slowly took a seat in the desk in front of me, watching as she moved to stand in front of it.
I've been having some issues, okay?
Issues? What about?
I'm supposed to help out the casino after graduation.
Oh. Isn't that good? It's a job, so it'll pay.
Yeah, pay. And blood money.
What do you mean? Is Is something going on with the casino?
Yeah, I get the pleasure of being a true Italian.
What do you mean?
Well, my dad's always wanted to own a casino, but my dad's an immigrant and whatever, so language barriers kept him from doing that. Luckily, my mom's pure Chicagoan, and so she knows English. When they opened up the casino together, I thought it'd be a great experience.
But it wasn't, was it?
A couple of suits showed up to our house last night. Mafia suits. Claimed that we were under protection as part of the Capone family.
No way. Suzu.
Look, I knew my family was a little messed up, but to be related to Capone was beyond crazy. My mother swore up and down that she had no relation to them, but apparently, through a marriage and a couple contracts, we're technically part of the family. Even if it isn't true, they made my folks sign out a protection license.
It was crazy. Al Capone was the Chicago mobster Robin Hood, but knew how to keep a family together. I never knew Suzu's family was so involved. With Suzu so protective of her family, it's no wonder she was upset. She preached so often that her family wasn't involved in things like that. Even Naomi defended her. I had to stop. This wasn't helping Suzu. I needed to help her feel better beyond anything else. So, what happens to you?
Nothing. We pay a part of our profit to the family, and we're protected. Protected my ass. It's bribe money to make sure we don't lose business or get bombed.
Suzu stared down at the desk between us, her hands tightening into fists.
This is bullshit. I was gonna be normal, I was gonna be happy, I was gonna finally be normal enough to ask you out!
Oh! Whoa! Hello! I felt like I was dreaming. That's a perfect face, Suzu. What? She wanted to ask me out? Huh? When? How? Suzu covered her mouth and stared up at me as if she had slapped me and regretted moving her hand. I stared, lost in my own thoughts. Suzu pounded the desk with her fists again.
Fuck! This is great! Just great! Just turn around.
Oh no. I stood and turned around, obeying her. Lost in my own train of thought, I needed to do something I could to help her subconsciously. I could hear Suzu grumbling to herself.
This is stupid. Stupid! You might as well go. I mean, this is good.
Suzu groaned. I could feel her mixed emotions radiate onto my back. I felt myself step forward away from Suzu in reaction. I'm like, why are we leaving? Poor girl needs us more than ever now. Aw. Quickly, though, Suzu grabbed hold of my vest. I froze, breaking from my own thoughts.
I like you. I really do, okay?
I felt my heart flutter in flattery. Suzu, one of my best friends, liked me. I wasn't sure what to say. Suzu's grip on my vest tightened, pulling me slightly. I wanted to turn and hug her, but right now she needed to let her emotions out.
I like you, but I don't want to ask you out like this. I don't want people to think you're affiliated with the Mafia kid. This whole situation is just messed up and...
I felt my heart drop. She cared about me and wanted to protect me from her reputation. I was flattered, but at the same time I was angry. She was my best friend, and she liked me enough to confess her feelings to me despite her situation. What could I say to her, though? This was a huge deal for both her and me. She had been one of my best friends for the majority of my life, and here she was confessing to having a crush on me. It was surreal, yet it made me feel both strange and fluffy. Suzu sighed and let go of my vest. I turned around to see her run her fingers through her hair.
Look, I'm sorry. I guess I needed to vent. I feel better now.
I couldn't help but stare at Suzu longer. Was she not expecting me to say anything in return? A sentence bubbled in my stomach, forcing itself out of my mouth without filter. Okay. In that case... I don't feel like we're gonna say seduce me to Suzu, but... just in case, I need to take time to read this. I'm glad you feel better. Go out with me, you crazy mafia lady. I did not know what came over me. I let it spill out. I liked her, though. I liked her a lot. She was badass and cute in her own special way. I loved that she was an individual and stayed true to herself, no matter what Naomi or I did. Sure, she was a little aggressive, but that added to the charm. Suzu stared wide-eyed at me, blushing as red as could be. I was positive that if she blushed any more, she would faint from all of the blood rushing into her cheeks to color them that red.
Did you just...
Yes, I did. I stepped forward and gently took Suzu's hand. I needed her to know how I felt. She poured her feelings out to me. It was more than fair to share mine with her. I really like you too. You're adorable, and I love that about you. You're caring and fun, and you have this sort of charm. Suzu, will you go out with me? Suzu was completely red in the face, but her eyes started to water. Rogue tears dripped from the edges of her eyes as she almost glared at me.
But what about...
I don't care. We'll deal with it as it comes, but for now, I want to be with you. Truly. Suzu stared before rushing at me and hugging me tightly, burying her face in my chest. I held her tightly, wanting to comfort her. I felt a small part of my heart fill with pure joy. I felt happy, like nothing was going to stand in our way.